This is the English service of Radio Algeria International. It's time for the news.
In line with the guidelines set by President Abdelmajid Tebboune, Prime Minister Sefir Lieb has chaired a meeting held via video conference with the country's governors as part of preparation for the upcoming new academic and school year. Sonatrach and Eni have signed a memorandum of understanding here in Algiers aimed at reducing greenhouse gas emissions in Algeria by applying international best practices in the oil and gas sector. The African Union AU Peace and Security Council under Algeria's presidency has begun a 2-day field mission to Khartoum, Sudan as part of efforts to strengthen the AU's engagement in supporting peace, security and stability in the country. Pope Leo XIV has once again called for an end to the acts of violence carried out by the Israeli occupying authorities against the Palestinians in the West Bank and urged for the international community to put efforts to achieve the two-state solution. Hello and welcome to Radio Algeria International. I'm your host, Mariam Bershi. As part of preparations for the upcoming new academic and school year in line with the guidelines set by the President of the Republic, Mr. Abdelmajid Tebboune, Prime Minister Sefir Lieb has chaired a meeting held via video conference with the country's governors. The meeting assessed the readiness of school transport and catering services with instructions to ensure they operate under the best conditions from the first week of the school year. Preparations for welcoming new university students were also examined, including the readiness of educational facilities and student services. The meeting also examined the progress made in identifying and clearing economic land to support investment. The government aims to build a national portfolio of developable land and help achieve the target of 20,000 investment projects by 2029 through measures including land digitization, legal clearance, infrastructure development and stronger intersectoral coordination. Sonatrach and Eni have signed a memorandum of understanding here in Algiers aimed at reducing greenhouse gas emissions in Algeria by applying international best practices in the oil and gas sector. The agreement focuses on identifying and promoting concrete initiatives to decarbonize the sector and reduce greenhouse gas emissions, including methane. It builds on cooperation launched in 2023 to reduce and recover gas flaring and develop technologies to cut emissions. Joint work has included technical studies, training and field visits to identify opportunities in areas such as reducing methane leaks, improving energy efficiency, cutting gas flaring and carbon capture, use and storage. Two companies will also have conducted leak detection and repair campaigns which significantly reduced fugitive emissions. Baseline emissions assessments have been carried out at 6 Sonatrach Eni facilities in Algeria. The new agreement will allow the two companies to continue this work and explore new emissions reduction initiatives, including natural CO2 capture through a forestry project. Here in Algiers, the Minister of Energy and Renewable Energies, Maharat Adjel, has given instructions to speed up the processing of partnership and cooperation projects with Niger and Côte d'Ivoire in order to serve common interests and strengthen prospects for cooperation in the sector. The instructions were given during a coordination meeting designated to examine ongoing partnership and cooperation files with the two countries as part of efforts to assess bilateral energy cooperation and reinforce its momentum. Mr. Adjel called for faster processing and pending files, stronger coordination among the relevant bodies, and close regular monitoring to ensure that agreed commitments are implemented. Other issues alongside the progress made as part of ongoing exchanges and cooperation were discussed during the meeting attended by senior ministry officials and Sonelgaz executive. The Minister of the Interior and Transport, Said Seyud, has chaired a coordination meeting to examine efforts to combat irregular migration and monitor measures taken in this area. Mr. Seyud issued instructions to strengthen coordination between the relevant services and step up efforts, particularly along the coastline during the summer season. The measures aim to curb the activities of human smuggling networks and prevent the organization of clandestine crossings while ensuring continuous monitoring of the issue and taking the necessary action. The African Union AU Peace and Security Council PSC under Algeria's presidency has begun a 2-day field mission to Khartoum, Sudan as part of efforts to strengthen the AU's engagement in supporting peace, security and stability in the country. Mohamed Khatel reports.
The mission aims to support Sudan and its people in ending the crisis, achieving lasting peace, promoting national reconciliation, and providing humanitarian assistance. During the mission, PSC members held high-level consultations with the Sudanese authorities, including a meeting with the chairman of Sudan's Transitional Sovereignty Council, General Abdel Fattah al-Burhan. General al-Burhan highlighted the authorities' position on the crisis and highlighted the political transition process and the UN-AU roadmap for resolving it. He also stressed the AU's role in coordinating efforts to find solutions and support a political process leading to peace and stability. The PSC also met Sudanese Prime Minister Kamal Al-Tayyib Idris, who presented the government's position and expressed appreciation for the Council's mission and Algeria's role during its presidency. Speaking on behalf of the PSC, Algeria's permanent representative to the AU and PSC chair, Ambassador Mohammed Khalid, said the mission reflected the Council's commitment to supporting Sudan, restoring security and stability, and preserving its natural unity and sovereignty. He reaffirmed the AU's principles for respecting the sovereignty and unity of states and non-interference in their internal affairs, while rejecting foreign intervention that could fuel the conflict. The Council also welcomed the resumption of government activities in Khartoum and preparations to reopen the AU office there, which would strengthen coordination and help lift Sudan's suspension from the AU. The mission concluded with consultations held with representatives of Sudanese political parties and civil society organizations. The PSC said the visit provided direct information on the country's political, security and humanitarian situation and would help shape a more effective and coordinated African approach to supporting peace in Sudan.
To international news now, the United Nations has expressed its readiness to cooperate with the Sudanese government to ensure the funneling of humanitarian aid via the crossing point of Adre bordering Chad. During a telephone conversation with the Sudanese Foreign Minister, Muhyiddin Salem, the UN Deputy Secretary General and Emergency Relief Coordinator, Tom Fletcher, expressed his gratitude to the Sudanese government for his understanding of the urgent need to provide humanitarian aid to the distressed population in some areas of Sudan. He also thanked the Sudanese government for its decision to keep the vital crossing point open, while hailing the coordination existing between the Sudanese authorities and the UN resident coordinator in Sudan. The Sudanese diplomacy chief, for his part, expressed the government's availability to pursue cooperation and coordination with the UN agencies operating in Sudan. Pope Leo XIV has once again called for an end to the acts of violence carried out by the Israeli occupying authorities against the Palestinians in the West Bank and urged the international community to pull efforts to achieve the two-state solution. More details in this report by Mohamed Khatel.
In his appeal made following the Sunday Angelus, the Holy Father called on the international community to ensure that progress is made towards a two-state solution to pave the way for a just and lasting peace. This came as UN Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs, OCHA, affirmed that more than 1,000 attacks were carried out by Jewish settlers this year against the Palestinian population in the West Bank. Meanwhile, in the Gaza Strip, one Palestinian was today wounded in bombardments launched by the Israeli army against Deir al-Balah in the central part of the enclave. The Palestinian enclave, which is regularly targeted by the Israeli attacks, is facing a water deficit amid a wave of heat. According to Palestinian sources, the deficit is estimated at 70%, thus contributing to exacerbating the already alarming humanitarian situation of the displaced population. The spokesman of Gaza's municipality was quoted by media as saying that the available quantities represent only 20% of the daily needs of the territory.
UNICEF has stressed the necessity to ensure the protection of civilians and children in Lebanon, which is regularly targeted by Israeli bombardments. In a message posted on its website, the UNICEF office in Beirut deplored the death of 3 children and other civilians in airstrikes launched by the Israeli army against the Ansar locality in the southern part of the country. In this respect, the UN agency urged for measures to be adopted immediately to protect children and civilians, emphasizing that such a violence must cease. The 17th session of the Conference of the Parties, COP17, the United Nations Convention to Combat Desertification, has officially opened in Ulaanbaatar, the capital of Mongolia. Mohamed Khatel has more.
Held under the theme Restoring Land, Restoring Hope, COP17 brings together around 12,000 representatives from 197 parties to the convention, with the aim of accelerating global efforts to combat desertification, land degradation, and drought. In his opening speech, Mongolian Prime Minister Niam Osor Ushral said the world was entering a new era of collective decision-making on protecting and restoring the planet's land, resources, and securing a better future for coming generations. He stressed the need to turn commitments into concrete actions backed by adequate funding, technology, and effective institutional frameworks. The high-level segment will include ministerial dialogues, while the wider program will focus on science and policy, innovation, technology, financing, water, land, people, food systems, and soil health. The conference will also seek to strengthen partnerships and promote practical, scalable solutions to restore degraded land and build resilient communities and economies. COP17 will continue in Ulaanbaatar until August 28.
The Ebola outbreak in the Democratic Republic of the Congo has become the deadliest in the country's history, with 2,325 deaths and 4,945 confirmed cases recorded in just 3 months. The outbreak caused by the Bundibugyo strain is spreading at an unprecedented rate, with UN officials warning that one person is dying every 30 minutes. No specific vaccine or treatment is currently available for this strain. The epidemic has spread to 6 provinces, with nearly 90% of cases reported in Ituri. Health authorities are facing major challenges, including weak healthcare, infrastructure, armed groups restricting access to communities, and widespread distrust of treatment centers. More than 70% of patients are reportedly dying in their communities rather than in treatment centers. The WHO, World Health Organization, says it hopes to reverse the rising trend within 3 months. However, the response remains underfunded, with only $264 million secured out of the $518 million needed for the joint response plan. Europe continues to battle major wildfires, with drought and exceptional heat waves making forests increasingly vulnerable to fire. In Belgium, RAN offered some relief as around 500 firefighters and soldiers battered the country's largest modern forest fire, which has burned about 3,000 hectares near the German border. Germany has provided 2 water-carrying helicopters to help fight the blaze. In France, the government announced €12 million in aid for victims as a major fire in the southwest. The blaze has now been contained, allowing around 250 evacuated residents to return home. In Greece, 2 fires on the island of Salamina near Athens killed 2 people and forced nearly 600 others to evacuate by boat. The fires were largely brought under control. In Portugal, hundreds of firefighters continued fighting 2 major fires in the north, including one in Torre de Moncorvo, that has burned at least 900 hectares. In Spain, a soldier was killed and 4 others wounded when their firefighting truck plunged down an embankment while battling a major wildfire in Aragon. France has sent 100 firefighters to support the operation. Back to national news. Algeria's women's national team has been awarded the Fair Play Team Trophy for being the most sporting team at the 2026 Africa Cup of Nations. Captain Sofia Galati received the award on behalf of her teammates at the end of the tournament, recognizing the Algerian players' exemplary conduct both on and off the pitch. The award adds to Algeria's historic campaign at the AFCON 2026. The team secured a bronze medal and at the same time qualified for the 2027 FIFA Women's World Cup in Brazil. Cameroon was crowned African champions after beating Malawi 3-0 in the final. With this last piece of news, we come to the end of our news bulletin. Stay tuned to Radio Algeria International.
Hello and welcome to our weekly program Destination Algeria. I'm Jamal Femeni. great destinations in Algeria just waiting to be discovered. A curious mixture of cultures and influences, Algeria has something interesting to see in just about every city. The country is the first largest on the African continent, so you can be sure that there are plenty of towns and cities to visit. Let's visit Algeria's fascinating destinations, you and I, together. Snow is covering several cities of Algeria in this period of the year. We take you today to one of the best regions of Algeria to visit during winter, including the mountains of Djoudjara. Mohamed Barazwan.
Taking its name from the Djoudjara Massif that lies within its boundaries, the Djoudjara National Park in the northwest region of Algeria consists of three main sections: eastern, western and central, extending into the districts of Bouira to the south and Tizi Ouzou to the north. With its many dense forests, deep gorges and unusual grottos, the park is widely considered to have some of the most beautiful scenery in Algeria. It is also home to varied flora and fauna, including the endangered Barbary macaque. The outstanding physical features of the Djoudjara National Park include the mountain peaks of the Djoudjara Massif of the Grand Kabylie, part of the Tel Atlas Mountains of Algeria. At a height of 2,308 meters, Lala Khadija is the highest part of the Djoudjara Massif and one of Algeria's highest mountains. The park is well watered by springs and streams and has a number of glacial lakes within its boundaries. On the southeastern slopes of the Djoudjara Massif, there are dense Atlas cedar forest groves, while at lower altitudes there are endemic pine and juniper trees. The Djoudjara National Park is a refuge for a wide variety of fauna, including hyena, wild boar, hare, wildcat, mongoose, red fox, and the Barbary macaque, sometimes referred to as the Barbary ape, although it is in fact not an ape, but a member of the Old World monkey species. Birding enthusiasts will appreciate a variety of birds in the park, which include a number of raptors such as the black vulture, booted eagle, long-legged buzzard, and golden eagle. The main visitor center for the Djoudjara National Park is located at Tichta, along with hotels and campsites. The park was built in September 1925 It is a national park to protect this unique ecosystem for the people of Algeria and for visitors to this fascinating country to enjoy.
You are listening to Destination Algeria on Radio Algeria International, now from the beautiful mountains of Georgia to the National Park of Sharia with Assia Bekar.
Taking its name from a nearby town, the Choueia National Park is located in the Blida province of the northwest region of Algeria. The park incorporates the mountainous area of the Blida Atlas, part of the Tel Atlas range, where the snow skiing station of Choueia is situated. The Choueia skiing station is one of the few in Africa that can offer skiing on natural snow. Although the Choueia National Park is one of Algeria's smallest protected areas, it has varied terrain and abundant flora, providing suitable habitats for a variety of animals and birds, including a number of magnificent raptor species. The ancient Atlas cedar forests of the park are home to a population of Berberi macaque, an old world monkey species that is rated as endangered on the red list of the International Union for the Conservation of Nature and Natural Resources. The distinguishing feature of the Berberi macaque is its short stump of a tail, which is believed to have come about as a result of centuries of disuse. There are numerous walking trails within the Choueia National Park that have been designed for visitors to enjoy the rich natural beauty of this charming Algerian national park, which is well worth visiting.
Thank you for listening. I'm Jamal Salmani. Do join us next Friday for another edition of Destination Algeria.
Hello and welcome to Inspiring Figures, your weekly broadcast devoted to those who had an incredible destiny. Great Algerian housey music and folk singer Selwa Fatouma Limiti, of her real name, who made the heyday of the Algerian song in the 70s and 80s, died last week at the age of 86 after a long illness. Our program today will be devoted to her life and her career.
صار لي وسباب بلايا يا لايمني ما تبات هاني تنسى لوقات.
Born in the central province of Blida in 1941, Selwa knew since her early childhood that she was destined to be artist. Selwa began her career in 1952 on Radio Algiers, hosting a kids' radio show, before moving to Paris to become the host of the first radio broadcast dedicated to Arab women on French radio. Selwa then met famous composer Lamrouni Missoum in Paris, who offered her to sing Algerian modern music. She recorded her first title in 1962, Lala Amina, which ranked third in the sales of the famous record company Pate Marconi. After independence, Selwa returned to Algiers. Missoum continued composing songs for her, but she collaborated with other musicians like Ashlaf, Mahboubati, and Boujma Mirzaq, who will become later her husband. Her exceptional voice and the musical culture allowed her to excel. She is also known for hosting the first version of the show Alhan wa Shabab with Mati Bashir in the 70s. She will also make modern covers of Algerian folk songs in music concerts and will remain at the cutting edge of music during more than a decade. In 1982, she makes a remarkable appearance in the movie Hassan Taxi of Slim Riyad, featuring Rouishid, Sid Ali Kwirat and Wardiya. Her talent in the interpretation of housey music established her as the worthy heir to Fadilat Ziria after her death. With this, we come to the end of our program, Inspiring Figures, for today. Thank you for joining us.